Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video. And in this one, I wanted to go over a little bit of a problem that I'm running into, and quite a few of my friends are also running into at the moment when it comes to PvP. And no, I'm not talking about getting one shot by Convoke the Spirits Boomkin or a Combustion Fire Mage or being stunned to death by a rogue. This actually, in fact, has nothing to do with class balance or tuning. This has to do with gear progression and power progression of my character specifically and how the PvP gearing system feels currently at the moment. So I wanted to talk my personal experiences with it and how I feel about it right now in the current moment, as this was a pretty big overhaul to a gearing system that I think a lot of PvP players were excited for and highly anticipated it. And so far it felt pretty good up until this point. There's a point now where we've hit no renown upgrades for unranked PvP gear, which means any unranked PvP gear you get from random battlegrounds is capped at 184 item level. Now, the problem comes in where if you don't get very lucky with your Great Vault, which is your weekly reward, say not getting a weapon or not getting main set pieces for your gear, you're going to feel like you're starting to fall behind quite heavily from the rest of the pack. Now, this likely will be shored up in the future, but it does present a pretty big problem right now and for about the next 3 to 4 weeks. Most notably because anybody that is doing Mythic Plus is able to acquire gear above item level 200. And you can see with my character, I've been playing above 2100 rated arenas. I've been spamming PvP as my main source of gear. And due to the Great Vault's rewards given to me, I've only managed to get 189 item level. And there are other players in the game who do other content like Mythic Plus or Raid, and they have 30 item levels advantage on me already. This is quite a big gap, quite a noticeably big gap at the moment. It's incredibly frustrating because when I jump into arena, I feel like I'm not really working towards anything that can reduce that gap. I'm just kind of stuck and I'm going to have to wait. And that's mostly waiting to earn enough currency conquest points to be able to buy a weapon, which is likely going to happen next week, which leads into another problem, which is the game makes you feel like you're an idiot if you buy the weapon, but the game also makes you feel like an idiot if you don't buy the weapon. The weapon from PvP can go up to 233 item level if you're above 2400 rating, to my understanding. But it's also the most expensive item you can buy. And because Conquest is so limited in the amount that you can get, it's an 1800 Conquest item to purchase. So if I purchase this, it means I can't spend 1800 Conquest on other pieces, such as a chest piece or a helmet. I'm kind of just stuck here waiting because I don't want to leave myself up to RNG with the Great Vault and getting a weapon. If you do get a weapon, you feel amazing. The system plays out perfectly, I think, and you'll feel like you're able to continue gearing. But if you never get the weapon, and also the weapon with the correct stats, if that's the case, especially if you're a shaman player, because staffs can drop from the Great Vault for PvP, and shamans do not use staffs in PvP, there's very low odds you'll actually get a weapon from the Great Vault, or you're just stuck perpetually waiting for it. That's going to make you feel dumb while everybody else is getting ahead on their gear. My biggest gripe at the moment would be that the unranked PvP gear should be upgradable to a higher item level already. The max item level that it can go up to my understanding, is already 198 or 197, in and around that point. But we will not be able to do that until renown level 22, which will then allow us to upgrade our unrated PvP gear to rank 7, which is just under 200 item level. That's 3 weeks away from the date of this video. So that's more and more time for anybody that's doing Mythic Plus. They get to continue progressing their character, whereas when I'm playing PvP, I feel like I'm just stuck. There's nothing else that I'm getting when I'm playing. To me, it seems like a solution to this would have been to split this reward in half, instead of going up, because it'll go up 2 ranks. We're at rank 5, then this goes to rank 6 and rank 7. Split it up into 1 rank upgrade, and then put one of those ranks a little bit earlier in this month period where there's just nothing really to look forward to as a PvP player, or nothing you can really work towards. You're just kind of stuck at the mercy of the Great Vault, so that you can actually then start spending your conquest if you want to make sure that you get a weapon. Put that unranked upgrade in half so that you can go up to 190, which is at least a little bit closer to the 200 plus item levels that I'm seeing from PvE at the moment, or bring both of them a little bit sooner to, let's say, 18 or 15 at this point, because it's getting to the point where I feel like when I play PvP, I'm only really playing to get my conquest, get my 3 out of 3 rewards, and then I need to stop. And because unless I have the gear, I'm facing people who do, and it's not an enjoyable experience, even though we're equally skilled at the same rating. Just RNG blessed them better from the Great Vault, or they had gone out and done Mythic Plus and was able to farm gear from that you couldn't farm from PvP, or even really get close to with PvP, because the unranked upgrades are so limited at this point. So to me, this is quite a big problem at the moment, and I think it's disincentivizing a lot of players. It's creating discouragement for a lot of players at the moment that are not getting lucky from the Great Vault, which is very important for this system then to continue to play out in a way that you feel like you're getting rewarded and getting stronger. If you have gotten lucky, you probably feel like a god, because you're going to be crushing everybody else that didn't get lucky. So for me, it's not about, oh, you don't want to play the game to get gear. It's that it seems like there's just a hole in the progression model of the gear currently that needs to be filled, because otherwise it was going pretty well, and then suddenly we've just hit this pitfall where, oh, well, now there's nothing I can do. I can't upgrade my gear any further. If I play arena, I'm volunteering to play arena into people who are going to crush me with 30 item level advantages from me only gearing from PvP. Seemingly this set bonus from the trinket is also not valid enough to not wear something that's 30 item levels higher than your current gear. And also there are still a lot of trinkets from PvE, such as the Skulker. That's one more notably only for rogues. Despite it being nerfed, it's still prevalent. And a trinket from the other side called the Inscrutable Quantum Device, which it leaves itself a mystery as to how you can use it, but it actually currently functions as a second way to get out of crowd control in PvP. So you can wear a medallion and this, and have 2 ways to get out of crowd control. That seems incredibly busted in PvP at the moment. Again, disincentivizing you to wear the PvP trinkets with the bonus in the first place. I hope something could be addressed towards this, because if you don't have this trinket, I mean, you may not even be aware of this trinket, because it literally doesn't tell you what it does. It's a complete mystery, and it's actually the most busted thing you could get for PvP at the moment. So the trinkets are still looking a little bit problematic. My lights just went out. So avoiding these trinkets, or trying to get these trinkets on top of the gearing progression at the moment, I'm just kind of left like I can't do anything with my character unless I go do Mythic Plus. And then if you try to go do Mythic Plus, your item level is low because you geared through PvP, you don't have Raider.io, so then it's the whole frustration of trying to get invited to a group to do Mythic Plus, which I would even do. I can tank, I've done some Mythic Plus already, but it's then that's the main reason that I don't even want to do it in the first place, is trying to switch over with a low item level, trying to switch over without the Raider.io score. Nobody's inviting you. Nobody wants to take you. And if you try to make a group with all your PvP gear friends, they're not geared enough altogether to be able to do it. You're just stuck. It feels like you're stuck in a hole at the moment, and all you can really do is wait for the Great Vault's mercy, or wait until we get to Renown 22, which is in 3 weeks from now, to be able to progress your character. And it's just not really a good feeling at the moment. And I'm really hoping that there's something that could be done to address this. My solutions, again, would be to push the unranked PvP Renown upgrade sooner than Renown 22. Another solution would be then to increase the amount of conquest you get per week from 550. This way, if you spend the conquest on something like a weapon, you don't feel totally awful about it, because you're getting a little bit more to be able to spend on other pieces. because the Great Vault, even with 3 choices, is still pretty merciless. Even though, yeah, the people who are getting lucky with it are very happy with it. But the people who aren't getting lucky with it, which is a lot of people, because there's so many rings, there's so many necks and cloaks, you have such these high odds of getting a trinket, a ring, a neck, or a cloak. You're almost always going to see it at least once, if not multiple times. Then you have main set pieces with incorrect stat allocation for what you may be trying to go for. On top of that, adding into potentially bad RNG to get the item you want, that it's such high odds of actually getting this that I think majority of people are going to probably be buying their weapon. But when you buy it, it's 1,800 conquest. It's over double the amount of any of the most expensive item. You can buy literally like 5 of the minor pieces instead of the weapon. And you feel like you've fallen behind the gear curve from everybody else, and unless you're at the mercy of the RNG. So to me, it seems like conquest per week needs to be increased. Whether or not this is something that could be done in the current season or maybe for the next following season, but more conquest per week, and lowering the renown requirement for the final unrated PvP gear upgrades. Let's say we continue into season 2 of Shadowlands. Because right now there's just a month hole where if you're not lucky, you just feel like you're stuck, you're behind forever, unless you do other content in the game that other people are not friendly to inviting you because your character's already behind, even though you played the game and you were successful and you grinded the game. It's just, you feel stuck. I feel stuck personally. I have a couple of friends also in this boat that feel like they're stuck, and it's making them feel like, well, what's the point? I'm just going to get crushed by them, and it was just RNG, and no one's inviting me to this other content. And it's just, this hole is not allowing the system to really fulfill itself, because it was going pretty well up until this point. But it's been a big problem that I've noticed at the moment, and I just wanted to talk about it here today in this video. If this is a problem for you, please let me know in the comments down below as well. Maybe we can make this more aware of an issue in the game at the moment to try and encourage some change, whether or not it actually happens in the current season or in the future, because otherwise it was looking like a very good system and I was having a lot of fun with it. So thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.